I don't normally come on here and talk about the quotes that I throw up on the page. For me, that's just kind of a fun thing to add on. Maybe kind of an inspiring quote here or there. But I came across this quote today, and yeah, this one really, really hits. Man, sometimes you come across these things and they get you right at the perfect time. And so for me today, I got another rejection. Again, we're getting closer. We're getting very, very close. But yeah, one of my short stories was rejected again today. Man, I am such a big fan of Octavia Butler's work. I remember back when I was going for my MFA, we had to read Kindred, and awesome story. And this quote right here about about how you see other works that you think are worse than yours getting published, and you're like, why did mine get rejected? It hits it like man, it hits right where those deep emotions come in, man. Yeah, so another rejection, but we're gonna keep moving forward here. It changes nothing about where I'm at with my novel. That's still done. At least the draft that I finished is now done. It's just waiting to be proofread. So we'll be taking care of that in the coming weeks. I imagine I'll get it back to me probably by like mid-July. Then we'll basically, once it's done being proofread, we'll go on to the final stage, which is getting it formatted, and that's when we can do a lot of the fun stuff. That's when a lot of the exciting elements of the process come in. Yeah, but man, the more you write, I think for a lot of us, the more you write, the more you're gonna start seeing those ugly literary children that Octavia Butler talks about. You're gonna see a lot of them, and you're gonna ask yourself, is my work like that? And if it is it really worse than this? And it can be shocking to realize that maybe yes it is, but more importantly, it can be very shocking to realize that no, that your work is not any it's not worse at all. Really, it's just a matter of taste that one person or one group on the editing staff might have agreed to, that might have thought this work was worthy of being published, but yours wasn't. It's very subjective. And in a subjective world, there's a lot of ugly literary children that get published, and there's a lot of good literary children that unfortunately don't get published. It is a matter of taste. Sometimes it can be everything down to, I think, even catching someone on the right day. Someone just on a particular day, maybe they're a little more open to taking a second look at your work. Maybe they're just in a mood maybe to give you a chance. I've never encountered that, but I imagine it happens. The key to all this is to come back even better. Just let those rejections make you better and come back even stronger with your next story, or with your next edit, or your next revision. A lot of these rejections can come just on the basis of a few small things, just a couple tiny things. I think I shared for everybody a while back that one of my stories from this collection actually was rejected, really in part just because of a couple of small things. One was the terminology. The character used mother and father instead of mom and dad. It took the basically editor out of the story. That's what they mentioned. There's also a couple grammatical mistakes as well that I had made that I simply overlooked. A couple, I think it was a couple articles, like an A or an an, that was missing in certain spots in a sentence that my eyes just, when I, you read it, you go through it so many times, but you still, you just overlook it. You just feel, your brain fills that in. Very, very small stuff, very tiny things. And these things all seem to add up to much, much bigger rejections. So come back stronger with a stronger work each time. And eventually you're too good to get rejected. The kind of Steve Martin quote about so good they can't ignore you. And that's really all you can ever do, is just use the rejection to make yourself better. And eventually you become this, hopefully this unstoppable monster, cranking out these awesome stories. That's the hope, you know. The one thing to keep in mind is that, and it sucks to say it, but everybody does get rejected. Everybody gets rejected. Everyone that you admire got rejected, and they used that rejection to fuel them to become better. It's every area of creativity. If you've ever seen a biopic on anyone's life, you'll know every creative person that was encountered some sort of challenge or some sort of rejection of their work very early on, for whatever reason. You know, it's ahead of their time maybe, or their work just simply at the moment wasn't up to snuff yet, and they had to come back even stronger to, you know, they had to come back so strong that they were almost overcompensating for their early rejection, that they could have stopped at, like, you know, 90% of the quality and got published or gotten the success, but they went 110%, just to make sure this time they weren't going to. And that extra 10% there is what made them remarkable, memorable. They even surpassed the standard that they were originally trying to get to. So we're going to go back to the keyboard. We're back at it. I'm working on the short story that I've been working on before this. That's what today was. And so tomorrow I'm back at it again. I've got about 1,000 words to write, and then this first draft will be done. So maybe this one gets published.